Hey everybody, welcome back to the Caves Cast podcast. I'm Jeremy,
And I'm Ryan.
and this week we are going to be talking about Avengers or Aliens versus Avengers.
Yeah.
Um, this is what the third crossover between Marvel and the 20th century properties.
Yeah, because we had Wolverine versus Predator, and now we have Black Panther versus Predator, and now we have
Yes, right.
yep.
And it is a like and normally these things would be like the last two are like the Predator crossovers have been Benjamin Percy books, right? So this is not the case with this book, man. This is like Hickman and Assad Ribic are the creative team on this.
Dude, sequel like
Um,
2015, man.
yeah, exactly. I mean, Ribic is anytime that he's on a book, I'm probably gonna get it. It doesn't matter who's writing it, you know.
Right. I
But
still need to buy the those Eternal books because I know he did the Eternal series. So
I love that run.
really,
It's
okay.
it's
Yeah, I
yeah,
really want to
it's
get it
great.
just for his art. His
Yeah,
art.
oh, dude, and like, I say this all the time. Like he is one of my favorite artists, but he has this like sometimes his faces can get
Yeah,
little wonky.
yeah,
This is like probably the best that his stuff has ever looked.
yeah,
Um yeah, it with the Benjamin Percy books, with those Predator crossovers, I hear they've been good. Like the Wolverine one was pretty good from what I heard, and I heard that the Black Panther one has been decent so far. Um but those are just kind of like they just seems like a gimmick, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's just for the sake of like it's very like surface level story. But with Hickman, you're getting more than that, I think.
yeah.
Like
This is like a
granted,
crossover done right. Like
yeah, and for the life of me, I cannot remember where I read it, but I want to say that he has said something along the lines of like he's taking like the best versions of both because he really really loves both properties, and to get the chance to do this is like just like a not really like a pipe dream, but something he never really imagined that he could get to do. And now that he can play with both sets of toys, he's
right.
gonna do it. And it's cool because it seems like it has its own like designation, like it's not 616 or in
Right.
any of the known universe, so it's its own universe. But it seems like it's very Hickman's Marvel.
Yeah.
Like this seems like it could like it had a Hickman's Aliens and Hickman's Marvel, and you crash them together. This would be that book.
Yeah. And
But
Hickman, I feel like does
uh,
so well when it's a post-apocalyptic end of the world type. Like he
yeah.
shines always at that point, you
Yeah,
know?
it's really evident that this like there's a lot of thought that had gone into this
Absolutely.
because like it opens up with the Shi'ar experimenting on a Kree soldier,
Right.
and and they've been experimenting on them with like the little baby xenomorphs, like the face huggers,
Right.
and like they're having like varying successes with like hosts, like certain things. So then you have it's like the Wakandan intergalactic empire
Right.
comes crashing in on this project, and they it's T'Challa and Azuri. So Azuri
Yeah.
is the son of T'Challa and Storm.
Yeah.
Um and it's cool because it's kind of like it builds some momentum because like the first couple pages you just see like the dead face hugger on the ground, but then you see like Black Panther's here, and they're here for a reason. And then you get this little panel where they're like scanning, and you see these like in the distance, like, and it's crazy because even in like the zoomed out part of that page, you can
Yeah.
still see them on the ship.
Right.
That's how detailed his art is just so detailed, man. It just looks phenomenal.
It does.
So like, and then you get that little circular panel where he zooms in, and it's like that they're targeting on them and they're
Yeah.
hissing. And then when T'Challa's just like Azuri, and he's
Mhm.
like, yes, father. And then he just blasts the hell out of him with the lightning. It's so cool, man.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
it's
so
like coming out of his eyes. Like you could
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
damn.
it's so sick, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an awesome picture too. Like that, it has no like barely any dialogue, but just like that picture is just
yeah.
like
It's just the one
riveting.
dialogue bubble. Yeah, just that one word balloon of the xenomorph like screeching.
Yeah,
But other than that, yeah, it's just so good, dude.
it is.
Um, it it, I almost want to just read it again right now. Like I feel like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm flipping through the pages and I'm just reading it. I'm like I gotta stop.
Yeah,
Mm. But yeah, so that's just like that, and that's just the intro is like them getting a hold, of some of these. Well, like it looks like they got a hold of the xenomorph corpses, right, or whatever DNA is left of them. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that later on. Um, but what's interesting, I think, is probably the most interesting thing about this book is how like clean the the merging of the two
yeah,
universes is. Like they have this established that it's the Wayland Corp or whatever the name is, right?
right,
So like, and in this Earth, they've been around, for probably as long as they've been around in their home universe. Same for Avengers. So it's
right.
like they just coexisted this whole time.
Yeah,
And then you have like Bruce Banner works with the head of Wayland and all of that. So it seems like they've known each other for a long time. Like I mean, and it would make sense given
right,
that Bruce is a scientist and this guy's a scientist and they're both working with like forces beyond their comprehension, I guess.
right,
But to see like how quickly they sent these pods to Earth, right?
right,
Like, and it's like that was kind of the one thing is like they realized that they can't really stop this seed pod that was sent out. And
right.
the way,
Because they're like above a black hole, so time's
yeah,
wonky. So even by the time they get back there,
yeah,
months and years have gone by.
yeah. So like, I, I'm just gonna read this part. Probably no, it's really long. It's basically to sum it up. They basically are saying that like the worlds are not chosen, like they're not random. Like
Right,
they're chosen for a specific person, or like for a specific reason. And they send a seed probe which carries four queen eggs, and inside of it, along with 12 infected hosts in suspended animation.
right,
So then it targets four locations on that planet to then drop the queen egg and the three of the hosts in each location.
right,
And like within hours and days and weeks and months, like within no time at all, the queens have like already, run things like they're already running the show at this point. Like humanity is on its back foot. Like there's not a lot that they can do. They've kind of like consumed the world by this point.
right.
I need to go get my charger really fast because my computer's about to die now. So
For
that's great.
sure.
All right.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to this part. And Jeremy will be right back after these sponsors. No.
Are you doing a commercial break?
Yeah.
I thought I heard. I was like, what the hell? And we're back.
Yes, sir.
So it's just like a few pages, what, like 3 or 4 pages of it's just like it's just showing the process of how the Zenom will take over Earth. And you see like the different locations around Earth. Like you see what I assume is India, you see like Japan, you see France, probably New York here. And then you see like Adelan, the Inhuman
Yeah.
city and how they get wiped out. And then you see Atlantis and how it gets wiped out. And then Wakanda kind of, it lasts longer than everybody else, but they eventually fall as well.
Right.
And then even Krakoa is here, which I think is cool. Like
Yeah, that's definitely
I
Hickman saying something. He's saying something here. But
and this is like my favorite part of like I think this sequence.
yeah.
because he's like, and when it became clear that extinction was at hand for all life on Earth, the mutants of Krakoa decided to abandon their island home and use their gateways to flee to Mars, which makes sense because, Rocco. The mutants ran for the safety of the Red Father, all of them except one. Apocalypse, the first mutant who would stay and surrender nothing, for the world had now become the arena he always wanted. Apocalypse will fight, and if he lives, he lives. If he dies, he dies. So be it. Only the fittest survive. And it's
Makes
just him just wrecking shop, dude.
I mean, Apocalypse is a total Chad, so I would. This is
Yeah,
a total.
it's just so it's cool, man. This
Yeah,
was cool. I just like this page. I was like, damn, that's cool. Because
yeah,
he's sitting there in front of the tree, just like waiting. He's like, all right, like I'm ready for it.
yeah. I'm
And
sure
you see
that's
that,
just set up for. We're gonna see some awesome stuff with him
dude,
later.
maybe later on we'll see him come back.
Yeah,
I see again, like I'm just like I just going through this, I just want to look at every panel again because like I didn't even notice the spines of the xenomorphs in the water at the
yeah,
top. Like I didn't see it the first time. Like that's it's just so cool, man.
yeah, and pretty much. But also keep in mind, like if any of them get face hugged, like the Xenomorphs take on traits of them. So if Apocalypse
Yeah.
gets face hugged, I don't think the Earth is gonna be doing any
Yeah,
better.
because then you're gonna have start having mutant xenomorphs
Yeah,
probably running around.
exactly.
Um, you see, and then it jumps to like Old Man Wayland, and Bruce Banner, who is like they've sent Valeria out on like a mission,
Right.
and Bruce is kind of upset about it because like they weren't really on the same page with how it went down. Uh, but then and like we see Carol, who's like got some pretty heavy duty armor on. She's older, like everybody else. This is one of those like here's what's funny to me is this is probably the best Carol he's ever drawn.
Yeah,
But then you see this,
yeah,
like the eyes in that, and just the face in general looks so like goofy compared to the rest of the faces he draws
yeah,
in this. So like that's what I mean. Like top five artists for me. Like Ribic is one of those guys. He has an issue with the faces
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
Like when he's on, bro, it is like 1,000% on. But it's like when he draws like like a weird beady eye and it looks a little bit off, it makes the rest of the face look weird too.
yeah. I mean, he killed it though with Secret Wars with like
Oh, dude.
the Doom faces, and
Yeah.
but I
No,
totally.
absolutely. So then like Hulk is kind of he's done waiting, so he hulks out and he he jumps off to go find Valeria, and Miles is en route to meet with her, and she's like in a little fantastic cart, and she's running from a xenomorph, and Miles is coming in to save her, and Bruce. So they manage to escape, get back to the Wayland Corporation, and then they have an egg, and they're gonna try and figure out how to like stop this and save the world. And I really like how Valeria is characterized here because
Yeah,
she's like both Reed and Doom.
right.
So like and that's just like a through line for Hickman and how he writes her. But
Yeah,
um
I mean, Valeria is one of Hickman's like favorites. So
yeah, no, for sure.
it makes total sense that she'd be in here. And she's like 40. She talks about like how she's been divorced twice already. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and it's well right, and because it just goes to show you she's just like her father.
right,
But like in this for her, she didn't have a Sue Storm, she didn't have a family to like keep her grounded. It was just her family's friends, like
right,
Uncle Bruce Banner, Aunt Carol, you know what I mean? Like it's just
right,
like her family's work friends.
right. Because
Uh,
Reed basically told Bruce to watch after her after
yeah.
why not he passed on, basically.
Yeah, and then so like the first time I read this, uh, he she's like, "Oh, I can, I can figure it out. I like you just need to leave me alone, let me work."
Right.
And she says, "Now if you all don't mind, could you please leave so I can get to work?" And the first time I read this, I thought that was just her acting like her dad or like Doom, just being like, I need to knuckle down and I need to just get it done."
Right.
Wow, we are.
What
Wow. My thing is like severely lagging.
is it? You seem good over here.
Yeah. My computer's really lagging. Whatever. Um, and then it come to realize it's because she had one inside her. She had a xenomorph
Yeah.
inside her. So that's why she asked to be left alone,
Right.
which it kind of Bruce came to bring her some food and like, chat her up and see how she's doing, but then he realized like he tries to scan in and access denied. Access denied. Access denied. And so he's like starting to get really, really nervous. And then he hears this video playing and he just breaks on in and the fight with the xenomorph that was inside of Valeria is on.
Yeah.
And I love the way that he draws Hulk,
Yeah, me
man.
too. Especially this like older, you know,
Yeah.
like wrinkled Hulk. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, God, it's just so cool, man. And then Carol and Spider-Man jump into, and they're all like trying to find the xenomorph. And then Hulk is, just holding on to Valeria's body. And this is where it gets really, really, really cool
Yeah.
here at the last couple pages. Because that face hugger jumps onto Miles,
Right.
and they're all like, "Oh no, Miles, he's not gonna make it." And then the Wayland's like, "You gotta burn it. Like you just have to do it."
Right.
And then Carol's getting ready to like blast his ass. But then turns out Miles' suit is not just a suit.
Right.
It is a symbiote.
Right. He's actually wearing the
So
FF suit with the symbiote over it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So and then you see the symbiote like it even comments like I don't like this body.
Right.
It's like, but it'll do for now. Like it'll do. So it's cool to see like the even Wayland says it, parasite co-ops parasite, like because they both need a host to survive, they're just feeding off one another. Uh it's really cool. I am a little I mean, I guess it does make sense since it is a symbiote and he can turn into goop that it would jump onto his suit and turn into something like
Yeah.
the logo. But I mean it looks hella cool, man.
If you go
It looks
back a couple pages where it shows them all like kind of landing, you see the symbiote fangs in
like
Miles.
his in his teeth, like his teeth, right?
Yeah, yeah, you see it like a couple pages back. It's really cool. Like I didn't notice that before. I had to notice it once I went back. Um,
Like the first time he shows up or what?
yeah, let me see. Let's see. Is it? Now I can't find it. It's it's like a shot where it shows all of them. He's like in the background. Um, damn, where the hell is it?
Oh no, I see it. I see it. It's he's jumping behind Valeria. Yeah, I see it. Here,
Yeah.
hold on. Hopefully the flash won't ruin it. Hold on, let's see.
You can't barely see it through your phone.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's not really good. My thing turned down too. Come on, man. See, on my end, I'm just so laggy. Is it doing the same thing for you?
No, you seem fine on this end.
How weird, man. Let's see.
Because
Yeah,
I'm trying to find it in the book, but I can't.
so it's right. So like it's the page where Hulk um not the first page where Hulk comes crashing in with Miles. So it's
Oh
after he
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Wayland building. It says, "I know I just went. It just everything went sideways. I'm really sorry. I can't hold this much
Yeah,
longer."
you can't really
Yeah,
see it through here
yeah,
either, but it's
yeah.
right.
It's that panel. Man, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take to find
Yeah, yeah,
that. But yeah, no, it really, 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 really good.
yeah.
I really enjoyed this issue, man. It was,
This is like one of my favorite issues of the year, to be honest with you. Just the way it.
and normally I would be bitching big time about the fact that this is an $8 book, but it was about 44 pages, right? Not a lot of
Yeah,
ads in it, so it was a pretty full book.
and a lot happens in this. There's a
Yeah.
lot, like you're
Yeah.
getting.
And the
So,
nice thing is it's only going to be every few months that an issue comes out.
have we heard how many issues it will be? Four. Gotcha.
Or and it comes out I think it's going to be once a quarter because the next one isn't due out until November.
Right.
So it'll be
Right.
August, November, February, May.
And normally I would complain, but this is like a story that I wouldn't. In 2 months, I'll read it again. I don't mind.
Yeah, like exactly. Like this is going to be one of those things where it's like, and it was a quick enough read where you can knock it out in like 5, 10 minutes and then just read the next one.
Right.
So I don't know. It'll be a fun, it'll be a really, really good read after it's done.
Right.
I don't know. I think since I've been reading so much like back issue stuff the last, I don't know, 2.5 years, I think I'm kind of at a point now where I might just start rereading stuff that I've already read again.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I do want to finish the rest of my Thor reading. Definitely. I have like not even 200 issues left probably to finish.
Right.
Um, and then I would like to do a flash read. So like starting from Showcase 4 all the way to I probably just reread up through Williamson, honestly. So, and that's not nearly as much content.
Right.
So, I would probably do that. I mean, I could skip, well, I don't even want to skip Weighted again. I
No.
love,
Waits too. Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause like, well, I just read that, what, a year and a half ago? And then I read John's last year. Or yeah, it might have been last year or the end of the year before, but
Right.
whatever. Either way, like I kind of want to skip them so I can just get to the rest of it, but
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. Because
Yeah.
uh I've read New 52, I've read Rebirth, I've read Wade, I've read Johns, I've read like bits and pieces of like Baron and then Messner Loeb's, like the beginning before Wade is on the book.
Yeah.
I've read a couple of the issues after John's. I haven't read the second stint that was short one that Wade did after John's left and he came back. I haven't read that. Um,
Who did Rebirth?
Williamson.
Williamson did. Okay, so he did New 52 and Rebirth.
No, New 52 was
Oh, that's right.
Manipool and
Manipul.
Buccialetto, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. We'll see. That's like a no, I haven't even got there yet, so I need to finish what I'm doing first.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I still need to read those two Flash issues for the latest run. I still haven't read them.
it was good. Is
Uh,
12 was really good. It was the best issue of the run so far. It's just it sucks that it literally took us a year to get there
yeah.
because it pays off everything. Or like most of everything, I feel like. Because with issue 11, you're kind of like, well, all the villains were manipulated. Everybody's learning that the archangels are behind this, and then blah 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 blah.
Right, because you have the Pilgrims, the Archangels, the Still Ones or whatever, and
Yeah, the stillness. I mean, they're gone as far as we know right now. The uncoiled are just stuck in that plane of reality that they exist on, I
yeah,
think.
it was like five whole new things that was like, dude, what the
And yeah, well, like, and that's the thing is like we don't have an answer for the uncoiled, more than what we've already gotten. We don't know if they'll show up again, if they're going to be a pain in the ass later on. Like we don't know. I don't know. The issue was fine. It was good. It was the best issue around, like I said, but it just sucks it took us a year to get there, and hopefully now it'll be something more than what it's
Yeah.
been.
Hopefully
Otherwise,
we don't
Absolute
go into
Flash,
this
baby.
like meta sci-fi hole that he just went into for.
Yeah, I mean, like I even like the annual, like when he did like a sci-fi like space chase kind of thing. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I would be down with like if it was more like traditional sci-fi, like give me that. Like I'd be down for that. Like with Flash, absolutely.
yeah,
Like throw him in some weird sci-fi stories. You know what I mean? Like why not? It. I say this all the time. Like when Adams was on the book, it was like DC's Fantastic Four. That's just kind of the vibe I
yeah,
kept getting. It was just like fun, wholesome sci-fi comic books.
100%.
So like if you just took like if you took hell, man, and we talked about this, like Ryan North would be the perfect guy to write the Flash.
I agree.
And
100%.
you know what? I'm gonna say it. I would even rather him write a Barry Flash book than Wally, just because I like Barry is like the scientist. He's the
Right,
smart one. North has proven he can do really, really fun sciencey stories without it, and they can be packed full of dialogue and still be really, really fun to read and not take 30 fucking minutes to read.
right, right.
So and that's why I think Fantastic Four has been so good. And the Flash could use some of that.
Speaking of, I heard something like it got delayed. Like the latest Fantastic Four issue got delayed or something like
There's
that.
there well there was one that's okay. People were kind of freaking out because they were like, "Oh, there was no issue solicited for November. Did they cancel it?" They did not. Ryan North came out and said that it's just being rescheduled for December.
Gotcha.
There'll
Okay.
be no issue in November, but it will continue on like normal in December.
Hey, with my pull list, I could use a break from something, I guess. So,
Yeah, I mean November, dude. October is going to be big because Absolute books come out.
yep.
November
Yep.
is going to be big because more Absolute books come out. I would imagine by the end of the year we'll probably see a couple of more Ultimate book announcements because we have the one shot coming out at the end of the year,
Yeah.
1 year later or whatever it's called.
Right.
So I don't know. We're speaking of that, that means we're 1 year away from the Maker coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think the last issue said 15 months, which means this issue
Well,
this
see,
week will
yeah,
probably
well,
say
that's the thing
14.
is Ultimates at the end of that said 14 months, but the most recent issue of Ultimate Spider-Man said 12 months.
Ooh.
So these definitely fit into a timeline cleaner
Right.
than I thought they did.
Right.
So it I'm interested to see one how Black Panther's timeline fits into this and how those events are happening, you know.
Right.
And then same for Ultimate X-Men. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some of those issues and see if they start with like a month. You know,
I don't remember seeing that. I
because
don't.
if they do, then that's something that can be pieced together, and then you can
Right.
start making a timeline and see where things are gonna like kind of where things will be.
What I want to know is how they're going to tie Storm to the Ultimate X-Men in Japan, right?
I don't think they will.
So she's not like a mutant,
She'll be a mutant, but I don't think she'll. And maybe not in the way that like Peach is establishing it, because like there's the Children of the Atom and
right?
Peach X-Men, and that's just like the cult that
Right.
that that the Shadow King kid is his family's a part of. And so like it's that X that's like their logo and their symbol, and
Right.
they become the X-Men and they've taken
And they're
them on.
like draining power from somebody that's like crucified on it.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably going to be an important thing later on.
Yeah.
And who that is, I don't know.
Right.
Xavier, Magneto, or whatever iteration, some important mutant, you know what I mean?
Because we did see like somebody with like a one eye Cyclops thing.
Yeah, it
Remember?
was like he with the ponytail and the eye patch.
Yeah.
That's definitely Cyclops because
Right.
he even talks about like, oh, like we're not supposed to talk about the cult, like we're not supposed to talk about it.
Right.
And why else would you not be able to talk about it if you aren't a mutant?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely building to like a actual legit X-Men team up where they all fight the Shadow King. It's just probably going to take another 6 issues to get there because this
Right.
arc took so long. to
That's
pay
what I
them.
was about to say. It's a shame that it took 6 months to get
Yeah.
here.
So like this is one of those things that like this is definitely going to be a book that once probably in omnibus form will be just you can probably knock out 600 pages of this book in like a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like you could probably finish a whole omnibus worth of that book in a couple hours.
Yeah, Peach's storytelling's a lot with her art more than her writing, so
Yeah. No, definitely. And she's a good visual storyteller. Like that's not my complaint with the book at all.
yeah.
Just the fact that it moves at a snail's pace, like it's very slice of life, like the manga slice of life genre, but it is so damn slow. Like,
Yeah.
and here's the thing is I've read a handful of manga. Most chapters aren't nearly as long as most comic book issues, and don't have nearly as much dialogue either. So
Right.
like
Right.
you're really targeting a different audience with her books because you're not getting as much content as people are used to in in Western comics, and you're still trying to like pad out that page count. So a lot of it just turns into like little like word bubbles with sound effect or like with a or or like it's just like noises and sounds and things that fill the page, which is fine. But also like you like she has to realize that she's targeting a different audience because like it's either you love Ultimate X-Men because you love Peach Momoko and it's something completely different than anything else Marvel is putting out, or you don't like it for those same reasons.
Right.
So it's just like it's very it's weird. It's a weird book. I think it's good, but it's just too slow. I think it's just moving too slow.
Yeah. I'm hoping it
So
picks up, but
yeah, no, like definitely. Like I think it will be worth like a full read through once it's complete. But as far as like waiting month to month, it's like honestly, bro, it seems like it's almost like waiting for like a solid like Berserk chapter to come out that pushes the story forward. Because there was a good period of time where we were just kind of grinding we were just spinning wheels, bro.
oh,
I mean, dude, we've gone through like that might be a whole ass video in and of itself because the history with Berserk and like the pacing when it's on is perfect. It is there's nothing like it.
right.
It was all the hiatuses we were dealing like the book was facing. Like there were like literal like years where like nothing happened, where we would get a few chapters, but it was just we're on a boat talking.
Ah,
And it's like, dude, like and not even like Dragon Ball. Like sometimes Dragon Ball had a couple of those chapters where it was just like meandering, doing nothing.
yeah, like filler, just
Yeah,
filler shit.
but it was like we were in the middle of a hiatus for like 6 years straight with only a few chapters coming in and like coming in at a time, like sporadically. So it was a fucking drag.
Yeah.
Like Ultimate X-Men kind of reminds me of those days where it's just like there's not a lot going on and it was just kind of it was just happening. And then a big moment happened, you're like, oh, this is hella good. You get like 3 or 4 good chapters and you're like, fuck yeah. And then it would
Yeah.
be like back to the same old.
This arc could have been done in like 4 chapters, I feel like. You could have cut two.
Because and here's the thing is a lot of it was I felt like a lot of the pages in those issues, like the school scenes, you could have condensed a lot of those into like a page or two. But
Yeah,
some of them dragged out 4, 5, 6 pages.
right.
And it would be like 4 or 5 panel pages, and there would be like three bubbles of dialogue, and it would just be a sound like it would be a sound effect here and two words here, and then like another big sound effect there.
Right.
There's just not a lot, there just wasn't a lot. But now that it's going, there will be a lot, I think.
One thing I do like that I can say is I like the little cultural references that she
Yeah.
puts in, like with she'll draw like the little items that are in that were used in the issue, explain the cultural relevance to it to
Yeah,
Japan.
and you can tell that there's a lot of like passion and effort put into that book. Like it has a lot of really, really good things going for it. It's just the fact that it is so low.
Yeah.
It's a drag, dude. Like it's good. I don't want to sit
Do
here
you
and be like,
think Hickman should have kind of
uh,
reined a little bit better on it and kind of like told her to keep it a little tighter, or
no,
do you think Hickman's
no,
just like
because
go ahead and just do
I
whatever you want?
yeah, I feel like it's best this way because like she's a unique comic creator in the sense that there's really nobody else like her
Right.
American comics. Like for how much work she puts out, the quality of work she puts out, it's consistent. Like you're not going into like when you pay for a Peach Momoko book, you're not going into it expecting this like Hickman level complex story
Right.
or even Assad Ribic level art. Like she has a very particular style and she appeals to a very particular audience. And I think Hickman was smart to capitalize on that, and Marvel was too, because what else was she going to be doing otherwise? Are you going
Right.
to just have her do out of continuity Japanese X-Men stories for the rest of her career?
Yeah. Demon Days Part
Yeah,
3,
yeah,
whatever.
you know what I mean? Like she did probably four, five, six titles,
Right.
one shots, miniseries, throughout. So it's like it seems like it seems like a waste of her talent to just delegate her to do here, you can do your own little universe of stuff forever.
100%. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put her on a property in your company she's familiar with, X-Men? Two, let her write because her books always sold. They had multiple prints. They
Right.
were all like, and I've read some of them. They're pretty good. Like they're not bad, but it's similar to Ultimate X-Men. Like you're getting you know what you're paying for, and you know what you're going to get yourself into when you read it. So they were smart to capitalize on her popularity for this book, but I do think that once it is going, it will be a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier to follow along with. It'll be a lot more fun to read, and it won't feel as slow.
Right. Well, I think she's also like I think she's an artist first, writer second. I think she's
Yeah,
getting more
no,
in,
definitely.
filling in her writer shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Like, and maybe, I'm sure Hickman is saying, hey, like, this is the guidelines that you have to work under because this is where I need them to be. Like, and
right.
it would be silly again to not have them cross over into the rest of the Ultimate Universe at some
Of
point.
course. Of course.
So I don't know, man. This became like a Hickman episode.
Yeah, it did. I'm cool with it. Cool.
I mean, he's doing a lot of cool stuff, man. He's got, Aliens versus Avengers, which issue 2 comes out in November, and then the Ultimate stuff. But
You got
uh,
Wolverine Revenge.
yeah,
Uh,
Wolverine Revenge. Hopefully, gods will come back at some point.
oh
You know,
man.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, that's about all the time we got. We'll catch you later. Peace.
Later on, guys.